For most people, Rome's rise feels inevitable. Strong legions, iron discipline, roads that cross continents that IT looks like destiny. But history is never that simple. Empires don't rise because they are chosen. They rise because their rivals fail. And before Rome ruled the Mediterranean, it stood in the shadow of another superpower. A power built not on legions, but on money. Not on conquest, but on commerce. And for a brief moment, it looked like this city might defeat Rome. Welcome to the Financial Historian, where money, power, and history collide. And nothing is ever as simple as it seems. To understand Carthage, you must forget what textbooks teach. Rome is praised as civilization. Carthage is reduced to a footnote. That version is wrong. Carthage wasn't a side story. IT was Rome's first true economic rival. And its power didn't come from heroes or gladiators. Its power came from trade networks, financial innovation, and elites who ruled like a modern corporate board. Long before Wall Street existed, Carthage built a commercial empire. Founded around 814 BCE, it mastered the sea, commerce, and logistics. The Mediterranean became its marketplace. Rome conquered land. Carthage controlled choke points. Islands, coastlines, and trade routes became its weapons. Carthage didn't need farmland or citizen armies that IT had harbors, shipyards, merchants, and capital. Its double harbor was a technological miracle. At its center stood a circular naval base. Ships could be repaired and deployed faster than any rival. This wasn't just a port. IT was an economic engine. Rome was very different. IT was a farming society. Wealth came from land. Power came from citizens. Early Rome avoided the SE. IT fought on land. As long as Rome stayed inland and Carthage ruled the waves, peace survived. But the Mediterranean doesn't allow coexistence. That IT demands competition. And that competition exploded into the Punic Wars. These wars weren't about culture. They weren't about ideology. They were about economics. Land and manpower versus trade and capital. When both sides wanted the same routes, war became unavoidable, and that prize was Sicily. Sicily wasn't just an island. IT controlled grain, shipping lanes, and trade flow. Whoever held it controlled the ancient economy. Rome wanted security. Carthage wanted revenue. The First Punic War began not from hate, but from strategy. Carthage entered as a naval giant. Rome entered as a beginner at sea. But this is where the financial story changes. Rome copied enemy ships, built hundreds of them, and financed a navy through loans and public funding. Carthage relied on old strengths. Rome created new ones. This was commerce versus credit. Rome fought with citizens. Carthage fought with money. Its armies were mercenaries from across the world. Carthage paid for skill and flexibility. War was a business, and as long as money flowed, the system worked. Trade continued even during war. Wealth kept growing, but the model had one fatal weakness. If money stopped, soldiers left. Rome's soldiers were loyal. Carthage's were contractors. After defeat, Carthage went bankrupt. Unpaid mercenaries rebelled. The mercenary war nearly destroyed the city. But Carthage didn't surrender. IT innovated. Hamilcar Barca rebuilt power through Spanish silver mines. The Barcid family ran Spain like a private empire, a corporation with armies, financed outside fragile politics. This is where a famous name enters. Not just a general, but a financial weapon. Hannibal wasn't just a commander. He led a multinational army funded by silver. His mission was economic collapse. Crossing the Alps shocked the world. But disrupting Rome's economy terrified it even more. Rome finally understood the truth. This wasn't just war. IT was economic competition. Hannibal targeted alliances and taxes, not cities. This was financial warfare. Rome adapted again. IT borrowed, taxed harder, sold public land. Carthage forced Rome to evolve, in many ways. Carthage made Rome stronger. Liquidity versus solvency. Quick money versus long endurance. War would decide which survived. Hannibal aimed to break Rome's credit system, collapse alliances, end the war without conquering the city. If Rome's economy failed, Rome would fall. That was a plan, but Rome refused to collapse. Even after disasters like Kenny, Rome stood firm. Losses didn't break it, they hardened it. Rome raised new armies, borrowed from elites. Its leaders bet everything on survival. This was economic patriotism. Rome mobilized society. Carthage couldn't. Carthage's elite hesitated. They feared lost profits. Trade mattered more than total war. They treated war like a risky investment. Hannibal fought alone. A divided system weakened him. Rome struck back economically. It attacked Spain and Africa, cutting off Carthage's money. Scipio Africanus understood the strategy. Now don't conquer Carthage. Defund it. Capturing New Carthage crippled Carthage's economy. Assets lost, revenue broken. By Zama, Carthage was already exhausted, outspent, outlasted. Rome's victory wasn't just military. It was economic inevitability. Rome suffocated Carthage financially. Heavy payments, restricted power. Yet Carthage recovered again. Its prosperity scared Rome more than armies ever did. Carthage's destruction was economic elimination, a rival erased from history. This was never good versus evil. It was trade empire versus land empire. Chain ships to cargo vessels. Silver to rare minerals. The pattern remains. Some powers rule through trade. Others through territory and credit. The clash continues. Trade wars, proxy wars, resource conflicts. Nothing here is new. The real question isn't morality, that it's sustainability. Carthage failed because it lacked unity, not wealth. Rome turned crisis into cohesion. Citizens didn't fund the state, they were the state. History shows this clearly. Strong social contracts beat rich treasuries. Rome absorbed Carthage's lessons. Navies credit economic flexibility. Carthage lost the war, but Rome inherited its world. That's the real legacy. If this changed how you see history, subscribe. History has answers. You just need to know where to look.